Out of the vegan diet, yeah, I don't think that's helping, and working nights isn't helping. But my dad, he worked nights for a good few years. He was working at the airport for, he was working 12-hour shifts, 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. Like, that's madness. Um, Crazy what he did. This was while he, I don't know if he was still doing his law degree at the time, so just, I just, that is crazy. And still, he's not even, like, he's still 15,000 in debt, and it's unreal. Like, he worked so hard, and he got his degree and everything, and he has worked so hard, and he's worked his whole life, and he should have more to show. Like, he still rents, and he has secondhand car, secondhand cars. But he has two cars, but one's an old Yaris, which is worth 500 quid, and one, it's just like a backup car for his other car, which is a Volvo, which is like 2004, so it's not worth a lot.
Okay, so but what's your point though? I mean, what's your point? Are you saying that because your father worked hard and he didn't have much to show for it, are you saying that that's an excuse for the position that you're in? I mean, yes. Yes, there is truth in the fact that if you're born into a low income, low status family, if you're born into the lower middle class, the working class, it's difficult to get out. But that's not an excuse for not trying. You have to actually try. You haven't tried. You're not trying to move up on a level. You're just sitting there whining and complaining. I mean, let's be honest. You're still working minimum wage. That's not good enough. You can't sit there and look at, oh, my father did this, my father did that. So what? You have to, live your own life. You have to take your own path, man. Do you think that my father was a great success? Do you think many people that you see now that are living good, their father was a great success? No, it's not about that. Yes, the family that you're raised by does have an impact, but it's not an excuse.
Um, I don't know. You should have, like, people that work should have money. They shouldn't be like, that's something that really annoys me about our society. It's like people work so hard, and like, he has a law degree and everything, and still, that's what puts me off.
Oh, here you go, here you go. The excuse. It's always about excuses with this guy. This is so-called self-improvement guy, right? Oh, he's trying his best, yeah, but he's being put off. Listen, man, it's not just about hard work. Yes, being hardworking is better than not being hardworking. You don't even work hard, James. You don't even work hard. But the thing is that being hardworking is not the only thing. It's always going to be dependent on the value that you create. The value you create, that is going to determine the income that you can command. Whether you're a business owner or whether you're a employee, it's always going to come down to the value that you have. And the more valuable you are, the less people that can replicate the task in which you are doing. That's why you can make more money.
Trying, because he's tried, and yeah, where's it? Even
Everybody tries to
my
a certain
mom,
extent.
she's a hard worker too. Has nothing to show for it.
It's competition, man. It's about how you're going to compete with other people. You can't just say, I tried, I tried. No, it's about how can you defeat your competition. By defeating your competition, that's how you're going to get what you want in life.
I do contribute. I add. I give her something every month.
Here he goes, patting himself on the back. Oh, I do this, I do that. Stop trying to make yourself feel good about being a failure. Stop this feel good factor that you have going on here. Why trying to feel good all the time? It's not about feeling good. You said in one of your videos, it's not about feeling good, but you do it anyway. Oh, I give my mother so I don't care if you give your mother something. That's not enough. You're a 30, how old are you? 33-year-old man. Sitting here giving yourself a pat on the back for giving your mother some pittance. Come on now, this is a joke. This is embarrassing. Have some shame in yourself. Having some shame is a good thing. Some of you guys may not see it like that, but having some shame is a good thing. You should be ashamed sometimes of your situation, because when you're ashamed of your situation, that's going to give you some motivation and inspire you to move out and get out of the situation that you're in.
Towards rent and food and that. So I want to move out, but as
Sure
I
you do.
see, you know, as I said, once Sarah comes over here, we'll sort those things out and we'll get
Oh
a place
my
together.
God, here he goes, here he goes. All about women. It's all about women. It's all about Sarah. What is this incel fantasy he has going on here? This Sarah. When Sarah comes over, how the hell is she gonna come over? Number one, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Number two, we're heading for the biggest economic depression in history. And number three, we're heading for Brexit. How is somebody from a European Union country gonna just come over here like it's nothing in the middle of a pandemic and an economic depression? Have you thought this through? Have you thought this through, or is this just your incel simp brain talking for you? I don't think you've ever thought through what you're even saying. What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
But it just sucks, like people working so hard and
Look at his face. Does this look like a guy who's working? Does this look like a guy who's motivated? Does this look like a guy who's inspired? You can look at him. He's a defeated man. He's been defeated. He's lost. And I know some of you guys may not like me saying this, but it's over for this guy. He's done. You're not going to build up a career in the middle of a Great Depression. Especially when you don't have any skills, you don't have any talent, you don't have any work ethic. It's like I said, it's competition. Millions of people are going to lose their jobs, and it's only going to be a fraction of those who are going to get back into work. You're not going to be able to compete. You're 33 years old, you work minimum wage for a living. It's over, bro. It's over. I mean, we just have to be real about things sometimes.
what do they have to show for it? You're just working paycheck to paycheck, basically.
That's what you're
It's
doing,
not right.
exactly.
Hopefully things are changing. It's heading for a change. Definitely changes in the air, and things are changing, and big changes to come. I just hope, like everything
There's
I've been
always
saving
changes.
up, all the money I'm saving, but people have been saving for years and have probably years of savings, and they're going to lose more. But if it's a reset, then everyone stands to gain, so it's all right. Can't worry too much. Just got to get on with it, do what you can, and
The real problem with this guy is the mindset. He's still got that women pedestalizing simp mindset. Let me tell you the truth about this guy, okay? This guy had money. He had money. He worked for 5 years in his minimum wage. I'm not sure if it was a warehouse job or what it was, but he worked minimum wage for 5 years. He had some savings. He says now that he's broke. Well, of course he's broke, because he spent his savings. Let's look at what he spent his money on, okay? Let's look at what he spent his money on. He spent his money on steroids, okay? He spent his money on steroids. This guy took steroids. And steroids is not cheap. Let's be honest about it. Steroids is not cheap. Okay, that's the first mistake. Then he goes and let's touch on why he took steroids. He took steroids because he thought he would get women. That's the reason why he took steroids. He took them because he thought it would get him a girlfriend. Obviously, it didn't. Okay, then he met this girl online or whatever, right? He met this girl online or whatever, and he went and visited her in Italy. Bear in mind, she never came and visited him. He went and visited her once, the first time, And then the second time, this guy is so insecure, he went to Lithuania first to get a nose job. Okay, he had surgery on his nose, and then he came back, and then he flew over to Italy again. That's why he's broke right now. How much money do you think this guy spent on the steroids, the 2 trips to Italy, and the trip to Lithuania on a nose job? You know, I earn more money than this guy. I haven't been out of the country in a while, about 5 years. You know, just because you got money to spend doesn't mean you should just blow it. And that's the thing with this guy. Now he's fighting to save every last penny, but he's on minimum wage. And you know, he could have been already up and going with an online business or with some kind of training. He could have taken courses. You know, he could have got an education. He didn't do that. Instead, he was chasing pussy. Sorry to be blunt, but that's the truth. You know, this dude is now smitten with this girl, and he spent thousands to try to impress this female, and he's still doing it. He's still doing it, and that's his downfall. Never prioritize women. There's one thing you're going to learn from this video. Never prioritize women. He has destroyed his life over women. You know, and my advice to this guy is, you know, if I was him, I would just start looking for English teacher jobs in Southeast Asia. I will get my TEFL, and I will start looking for English teacher jobs in Southeast Asia, because as far as this whole fantasy he has of meeting up with this Italian girl and getting married and having kids, which God forbid this man has kids, he would be a terrible, terrible father. But it's a fantasy. It's a complete and utter fantasy. James, it's over, man. If you're watching this, which you might, I know you've seen a few of my videos, it's over, bro. You messed it up for yourself. Nobody else did this to you. Yes, even if you had a tough upbringing, that doesn't mean you take it all the way into your 30s. Even had you started a few years ago, you would have had a chance. It's too late, man. We're heading to the economic depression. You have no skills, you have no talent, you have no connections. You're still working minimum wage. You're done. You're done. But it being over isn't all doom and gloom. Every cloud has a silver lining. It's over for you as far as the fantasy that you have in your head, that's gonna work. But you can still build a life somewhere else. That's all well and good if you give up that fantasy. You don't have to expatriate. If you give up that fantasy of having a woman, having a family, if you give up that fantasy, then you don't have to expatriate. But if you want to keep that fantasy in your head, you're going to be disappointed because you're not going to make it. Every person has their limitations, and you have let it get too far. And it's not exclusive to you. Other people I talk about on this channel, they're all in the same position. You've let it get too far, and it's your own doing. And it's funny how you don't want to admit to that. You don't want to admit to this whole chasing women being a mistake, when ultimately that's what destroyed you. You had a chance. You could have had a good life. But it's too late now. It's the Unreal Man here, the truth of manosphere. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video.